What he hoped would be a tune-up for the start of the Stanley Cup playoffs, it turns into a season finale, definitely. Possibly a celebration of his career spent with one franchise. Marty Brodeur took the ice roughly 5 minutes ago for the start of the pregame. The thunderous ovation that followed, you could feel it. He settles in possibly for the final time in this career that has led to more games played, more minutes on the ice than any goaltender in the history of the National Hockey League. It was March 26, 1992. He debuted for the New Jersey Devils, got the win against the Boston Bruins. The top team in the East, the President's Trophy winners, are the final chance for victory today in a Devils uniform, perhaps, and we're underway this afternoon at Prudential Center. Many of the Bruins regulars have been left home. They did not make the trip, including Captain Zdeno Chara, their entire top line. Boston took care of business yesterday. Jaromir Jagr on with Travis Zajac and Patrick Elias. That's the top line for New Jersey in the season finale today. Matt Bartkowski delivers a hit in front. The puck squirted loose, and it's taken away and skated away by Justin Florek. One of the call-ups today. We're going to go with names and numbers as we move along here, Chico. A lot of fresh faces in the Boston lineup today. Mark Bain plays this across, and John Merrill banks this ahead for Sislo. Tuukka Rask, the number one for Boston, is getting the day off. Chad Johnson is the goaltender, and quickly he makes 2 stops for the Bruins. Puck taken here by Boston and skated away by Alex Kokolachek, one of the top prospects for the Bruins. He's making his NHL debut today, and he's wearing number 76. For the Devils, Damien Brunner is over the line. Wheels away from Brad Marchand, and the puck is knocked in deep. How about this crowd this afternoon here at the Rock?
Jam-packed. We saw a shot of the outside festivities before the game, and it's a special night or afternoon and into the evening, and it's because of Marty Brodeur. And you know what, Steve, as you mentioned, the Bruins are dressing a lot of guys that have been in Providence, but who cares today, right? It's just all about the Devils getting a win and Marty Brodeur playing well.
They seem determined today to try to finish up on a positive note for all the fans who've come out here on Fan Appreciation Afternoon here at Prudential Center. Fans were wonderful this year. This is played back. Matt Lindblad, one of the call-ups for Boston, wearing number 52, couldn't control the pass, and it's dumped in deep where Steven Gianta gets the legs moving and crosses it deep. Torrey Krug, defenseman for Boston, still classified as a rookie. At the age of 22, he had a good body of work last year on ice here, and the Devils provide some pressure here in the Boston zone. Here's Krug battling for it. And the puck taken away by Boston and sent out to center. Marek Zidlitsky chopped out at center ice by Dougie Hamilton, and played back here for John Merrill. Gianta punches this ahead. Yager's on for his second shift already. 20 minutes in, we haven't had the second faceoff as it's played back. Travis Zajac looks for a lane, fights through traffic, got by Hamilton and holds. Elias for Yager. Pretty stuff from the Devils. Zidlitsky firing, saved by Johnson, and he's got it.
Well, I'm pretty selfish today, Steve, because I want Marty Brodeur to get about 25 shots. I want him to have a chance at making some glorious saves one last time. There you see all of his totals. But I also want him to have a shutout. So I just want this crowd to get on their feet and be able to cheer him a couple times today because he snags one with his glove or makes a great diving save, whatever it is, a trademark Brodeur save.
So many fans were out prior to the pregame skate, roughly at about 2:30 this afternoon, all jammed behind the glass behind Marty's crease. And what a wonderful ovation they gave him just to start the afternoon.
And some of his family came in from Montreal. That's another indicator that this is probably 95% sure that this will be Marty's last game as a Devil.
Here's Louis Erickson for Boston dropping this off. Matt Bartkowski shot, and there's the glove save to get us going.
Woo! Now, I'm sorry, I'll try and control myself. I'm not supposed to yell over the play. That's not very professional, but that's just what I was talking about. Marty Brodeur threw a screen, looks down, sees that biscuit, and puts it right in that big basket. I'm going to use some old-time terms today. Biscuit in the basket. You know, things that I grew up. Oh, that's a good, better save than I saw. Mark Payne was caught in no man's land, but Marty was able to see it. You know his focus is going to be real strong today, Steve. All the festivities and all the side stuff that we're talking about will not affect Marty.
Because he played a different style all of these years, Brodeur, the hybrid, not the straight butterfly, does that make the glove more important for a goaltender like that?
Well, I do, Steve, and he's got to see the ball. It's not just going to hit him. So, you know, that all rolled into one.
Shot by Bruner is blocked away by Chad Johnson.
The numbers plus the style is what makes him so great and so unique. And how about Claude Julien, the ex-Devils coach? Now, congratulations, President's Trophy. He's won a cup. But as you know, Steve, with that, the expectations gets higher. Now, Claude Julien knows that in the East, at least, there's nobody that's even coming close to what people expect the Boston Bruins to do, and that's emerge to the Stanley Cup Finals. And Claude's aware of it. He knows there's going to be some tough moments, and he and his coaching staff are going to be judged on how these Bruins do, certainly at least getting to the finals.
That's the feeling this week. He was an emotional tactician for his team. As we see a backhand try that's saved by Johnson off the stick of Michael Ryder. I'll pick up on that in a moment.
Pete DeBoer, well, I could just tell you this. Those shootouts are killers. We know that. Now, think about this as a coaching staff. What's the least thing that the coaching staff has an impact on? Shootouts. You can have the guys practice it, but it's not a strategy. So here you got this coaching staff that's had a tough year, too. And it's because of a situation that they really had very little bearing on it. I mean, you know how many guys were chosen and couldn't score. It wasn't like you always picked the wrong guys.
Peter Harold's shot is blocked away. You could pick the order, but that's about the extent of the input that you have in the skills competition. The Devils did work on that a lot this year. Picked up here, offside is the call against Steven Giunta.
And here's another prediction. You're not asking me, but I'm telling you. Pete DeBoer is going to be back as a Devils coach next year. Forget all the rumors. Pete has done a terrific job. Dave Barr, Mike Foligno, Chris Terreri, Scott Stevens. They have done, I mean, I know fans are frustrated and they just see the results and they see one particular play and they go, should have done something about that, but you know, the coaches can only do so much. And I know that Lou Lamoriello respects Pete DeBoer a tremendous amount, and Pete will be back.
Fans are aware of all that's been floated out there, surely, in the last couple of days. Report last night that he's working on an extension already with the Devils. Reports that there has been interest from the Toronto Maple Leafs for the Ontario man, but the Devils generally keep these things close to the vest.
Well, Tuukka Rask is the guy that's going to be in the spotlight for the Boston Bruins in goal. But as you know, and we've seen in the past, things can change in a hurry. And Chad Johnson getting a chance to finish off this season with some playing time because guy gets hurt. Guy doesn't play well for 2 games. Coaches now don't wait long, give him a goalie the hook. It's not like 30 years ago. And Chad Johnson actually had a pretty good year. Now he's playing on a good team, so I know that helps.
Well, you saw both ends of the spectrum in your playing career. You were clear the number 1 at times. There were times when you were the backup. And look at the numbers for Chad Johnson. 17-3-3 and 2.07 goals against average. Hey, if you've got the 76 Canadians in front of you, that's still...
No, that's good. You know what's great about for the Boston Bruins now? They've got such a terrific situation with the big team, you know, being one of the dominant forces. Good minor league. Devils went through that. So you put in Chad Johnson. I don't know how good he is. I think he's really good. But even if you don't use him with those stats and what he's done on this very good team, he's he's a player that you could trade so you can keep adding, assets to your organization.
Damian Brunner busts through here, puts it on a forehand, and a save made by Johnson. Delayed penalty. This is against Boston. We'll sort it out when we come back. No score. Season finale.
Resch announced that today's game will be his last as a hockey analyst for the MSG Networks and the New Jersey Devils. Chico's been part of the Devils organization for 22 seasons as a player and analyst. He was the franchise's first goaltender when the team moved to New Jersey in 1982 and immediately became a fan favorite. He later returned to the organization in 1996, joining Mike Doc Emmerich on MSG's Devils broadcast through 2011, when he was joined by his current partner in the booth, Steve Cangelosi. Chico has always had a special place in the heart.
That was moments ago during the commercial break. You okay?
It was unexpected. Thank you guys in the truck and obviously these fans and the Devils team. They even banged the boards, which is special for a hockey player.
Let's see if they score you a goal here, Chico, as it's deflected into the corner. And Dinah Zubris, in honor of Chico, gives a good hit to Louis Eriksson as it's kept in here by Jaromir Jagr.
Well, I've seen most of these Devils grow up. Of course, all of Marty Brodeur here, but Patrick Elias, some of these young guys. Boy, the Devils have always had quality players and people, and this group here is no exception, Steve. And I know fans think we just say those cliches, but I'm being harsh in my criticism. I gotta tell you that.
What a wonderful spin as we see Zidlitsky walk in. He'll go for the wraparound, he scores! A 4-on-4 goal for Marek Zidlitsky. The Devils take the lead.
All right, Zid! Oh, that's a great sight there. Marty Brodeur gets a little cushion now. And, we missed David Clarkson's wraparound, but I think we just discovered a new one, and that would be Marek. Marek Zidlitsky has done this numerous times. Sometimes he does it one-handed. Nice play here by Travis Zajac. Waiting. Now, Marek, does he go one hand here? No, he's got both of them. Swings around, and how he hooks that into the net, I don't know. But the fans are going to have an awesome afternoon, Steve. They're already just cheering and yelping at the top of their lungs. And it's all about the present, right? We'll talk about the future in parts of tonight's game, the post-game show. But right now, let's just enjoy this final moments with the guys on the ice.
We're watching some 4-on-4 hockey here that continues as Elias takes this and fires it wide. We picked up one penalty before we went to that last break. There were two coincidental minors, Brunner for interference and Koplachev, the rookie, for hooking at 6:13. Here's Patrick Elias over the line, the Devils' all-time scoring leader. Works this back towards Merrill, but that pass intercepted, and the Bruins are skated away. Boston will begin the playoffs first overall in the East and the league. Guaranteed the best record in the NHL, clinching the President's Trophy only yesterday with that win over Buffalo. Elias holds, plays it across from Merrill. For Marek Zidlitsky, it'll be his 11th of the year as that shot's blocked away by Johnson. Michael Ryder
assisted by number 19.
comes in front, gives here to Ruutu and dishes off. Travis Zajac hits a milestone as this puck is loose in front and it's swept into the corner. Patrick Elias, the secondary assist. Zajac's put together a 30-assist season. Good for him. It started a little slowly and then began to pick up, and he's put together a good year.
Well, he has, and we're going to talk about some of the young defensemen the Devils have on the horizon, but I believe he's going to be signed. I know I'm making a lot of predictions, and I have some basis for this. That's why I say this. But 11 goals, Marek's quickness in his feet, right there, he got that puck. Those first few steps were as quick as they were 10 years ago. His hand skills and, his courage to try and make some plays. Yeah, he's going to make some defensive mistakes, but who doesn't? So I would hope, and I'm almost sure the Devils will offer him a contract. I said the other night, he loves it here. His family enjoys it, and he would be a great guy to keep around for the young defensemen as they start to enter the lineup as well.
We've spent so much time this year just talking about Jágr, who reached 42. Marek Zidlický's 37. He's had a wonderful offensive presence for this year.
Yes, there's the old guy. But how about all three Czechs? Patrick, he's 38. And I don't know what they do or what they're drinking over there. They must have some crystal clear water or something, or the fountain of youth, because the Czechs playing on this Devils team this year have had a lot of points of production, but have also been feisty, and you know, they've been full of energy.
Meszaros looking for the redirection in front, and they're out shooting Boston 10-1 to get this game started today. And the puck picked up here by Steve Bernier. He's one of the many unrestricted free agents for New Jersey at season's end. Dumping in, and here's Andre Meszaros, who plays this across. Kevin Miller for the Bruins. It's only so far. Space from Mike Sislo, who plays it back. Picks up Zubris. Punched back here for Adam Larsson. The one-time shot is saved by Johnson off the stick of Sislo. He's looking for the first of his NHL career. Comes out in front again. Brunner's try. On a second try, it's stopped by Johnson. Comes out again. Harold across. Here's Adam Larsson looking for the redirection. Brunner's all over the ice early in this period. Got a shot away, but it was blocked. Torrey Krug will punch this away, and the Bruins with Carl Soderberg skate this ahead. Louis Eriksson came over to the Bruins organization from Dallas. He'll experience playoff hockey for the first time in a few years. Boychuk winds it around. Bartkowski has to fight Jágr for it. That's never easy. And Zidlický takes this at center. Elias will steer this in. Tries to drop it back for Jágr. It winds around. Merrill pitches in. Tried to get it away from Dougie Hamilton, but it goes back to the Devils' end. Conclusion of a Devils season, a career in the broadcast booth that'll never be forgotten, and quite possibly the Devils' career of the incredible game's all-time winningest goaltender all this afternoon. Puck taken away by Tuomo Ruutu on the intercept. Walks in, and Johnson got a piece of it. Hamilton works this ahead. Taken away here by Green, who funnels it in deep, and Ruutu winds it around the boards. Miller works this free to Meszaros. Quiet from the Flyers at the deadline. Andre Meszaros. This is a Boston team that's very deep defensively, led by the captain, not in uniform today, Zdeno Chara. But the pass intercepted here. Riley Smith walks in on Brodeur. Save Brodeur on the breakaway. The rebound try is blocked. Woohoo!
Now that's a save you're not going to see very often. We'll show you the uniqueness of that stop. We're chanting his name.
Corey Potter's shot. Blocked away in front. Smith takes this for Boston. Surge here by the Bruins. Let's see how the Devils and Brodeur hold up against it. Tim Sestito tries to punch this away to center.
Well, that's what I was talking about. You don't want Marty just to sit back there and have 10 shots today. You want to see some breakaways. That glove save we saw earlier.
Worked across, going for the redirection in front is Koplachev, and Brodeur's got it. He's made 2 saves. They've both been great.
Riley Smith in all alone. Looking up, shot, Brodeur, kick save, and a beauty. Come on, Cavs, that's old-time hockey. How about this save, though? Watch Marty Brodeur's left skate. He kicks this puck with the back of his heel, and I'm telling you, folks, you're never going to see this again. Those types of saves in the National Hockey League. Great. I'm not knocking the modern goalies. They do great butterflies. But normally, goalie drops down, puck hits him, goes in the corner. Marty there, he kicks at it. You know, there's some style to it. Just great.
What a start for him. 12 shots for the Devils, 3 for Boston, but all of them rather dangerous to this point in the game. Here's Bartkowski with a try that's controlled here by Adam Larsson and worked ahead to Bernier. Under 7 minutes to go in this opening period. The Zidlitsky goal has the Devils on top as it's taken here by Peter Harold, and he picks up Ryan Carter. Johnny Boychuk winds this around, chipped at by Erickson. Chance here for the Bruins if they could get on the loose puck, but they're denied. Well played by Adam Larson. And it's taken here by Carter. He's all alone. Rest of the Devils are interchanged. And ridden off by Soderberg. Taken away here. Yager pumps it back into the corner where Travis Zajac holds. Devils are completing the change, and Merrill's shot is blocked away. Yager crosses up here with Elias. Patrick Elias plays it in front. Worked ahead to the stick of Matt Lindblad. And the rookie skates this away for the Bruins. Boston resting many of the familiar names. No Bergeron. The entire Krejci line with Lucic and Iginla not playing. Daniel Paille injured yesterday. Chris Kelly not playing. They're all gearing up for the playoffs later this week. They'll open against Detroit. Miller skates this away for the Bruins. Jordan Caron trying to get around Mark Bain. Wouldn't let him do it. It's taken away.
By the way, Riley Smith has 20 goals. So he wasn't a rookie going in all alone here on Vancouver.
Part of that Tyler Seguin trade. The player you heard the less about, Louis Eriksson, the other one, but the second line winger on a very good team is Riley Smith. Offside is the call here. We'll step aside. 5:18 left in the first. Zidlitsky's goal as the Devils on.
This is Martin Brodeur tapping his stick and looking up at Chico Resch as he was introduced to the crowd, celebrating his final broadcast. All of the Devils players on the bench tapping their sticks. Coming up on the GMC Intermission Report, we'll talk to one of Chico's favorite players, Travis Zajac, because he always plays the game the right way. He had his 30th assist of the season on that first goal, and we'll chat with Travis on the GMC Intermission Report. Great to have GMC with us all year for the first Intermission Report, and we'll have Ken Danico as usual.
Deb, thanks.
Hold it. Deb, Kenny is never usual. He's always unusual, but I know what you mean.
This is a tough one probably, but we have to do this at some point. Why don't you let's at least start thinking about it as we watch Mike Sislo walk in, and he's interrupted by Torrey Krug. Work back to the point for Mark Bain, and his shot is blocked. Do you have a favorite Marty Brodeur win or moment, Chico?
Well, I do, Steve. That's why I just don't want to miss a goal here. But I would have to say when he scored the goal, and he came off the ice like he could have been an NBA player. His vertical leap after that goal was just outstanding. To me, that just was electrifying because as a goalie, I've made saves like Marty have. I've done other things he's done as a goalie. But no one had scored a goal like that up to that point. Maybe Ronnie Hextall. Hexie got a nice one too. But with Marty's, it was... You could just see it coming, you could visualize it, and then it happened.
Now, in the old days, those pads were 40 pounds each. I don't know if they put them count that way, but still, that's quite a challenge, even for the more modern-day player. Here's Soderberg working this ahead, and he'll dump in for Boston. Swatted away wide of Brodeur's cage. You get the feeling he'd love to have one more crack at one today.
But even that play there, Steve, that's why it's so interesting to watch Brodeur. It wasn't predictable, standard goaltending stuff that Marty would do night after night. There again, he wanted to play the puck, couldn't, got caught out of net, but was able to recover.
Plays it into the corner for Merrill, and that's been an advantage for the Devils for 20 years. That breakout that very often is started by Brodeur himself. Picked up here by Carter and worked back to the point. Zidlitsky across here for John Merrill. His shot is blocked away and taken by Campbell and the Bruins. Gregory Campbell played it across. Counting on the spot is Steven Giunta, who drops it back for Bernier. Oh, the Devils leave the puck behind them, and it's skated away here by Thornton. Thornton walks in, shoots, he rang it off the side of the net. Collected here by Merrill and dumped away. Knocked down with a high stick for a stoppage in play.
Well, let's go back to my favorite moment. It's against the Montreal Canadiens. Now look at here, he looked. Okay, he grabbed it. See, it almost spun away from him. But the knee down on the ice and then lifting this puck. Now look at that. His chest pad almost came off over his head. Good thing he had that mask on to keep it where it needed to be. But I'm sure you remember that moment watching it too, Steve, and it was just unbelievable. All that it took to get it down into the middle of the Montreal net. Just something that maybe three guys in the history of the National Hockey League could do. I know Ronnie Hextall was pretty darn good as well, and then I'll throw it open to the third guy. I don't know who that would be.
Mike Smith, maybe. Oh, that's just a guess. Taken here. And Green shooting with the goaltender stick some 200 feet is just remarkable, and to do it with accuracy.
Well, you know, it's spun away from him. So he's going to go and grab it, bring it back almost like a toe drag, and then rip it and do it accurately.
Taken here by Craig Cunningham. Tried to load it up for Riley Smith, who fanned on the shot. And worked ahead by the Bruins. Zajac across for Sislo. Left the puck behind him. Mike Sislo likely headed back for Albany after today's game. The A Devils are in good shape to get a playoff spot. They haven't nailed it down yet, but a 3-point lead over Norfolk in the Eastern Conference in the AHL. Worked across here. Krug. Penalty coming up. This is against the Devils. And to the bench goes Johnson. Here's Krug over the line. Plays it across. Koklachek, the rookie from Moscow. Lost control, and now the whistle.
Well, you know, great events throughout history, great performances. Started with humble beginnings. Now look at this kid here. His gloves don't even match. What's he doing in the National Hockey League? Well, Marty just been called up from St. Hyacinthe, and he's facing the same team that he's facing tonight. How poetic would that be if he gets his last win as a Devil against the same team that he got his first? And he's wearing number 29, but I love the blue gloves. But at that stage of his career, no one knew what his career was going to morph into. And he didn't care. Style, looking good with his equipment or any of that, that was the farthest thing from his mind. And that's what I say, give Jacques Lemaire a lot of credit for throwing the kid in there. Say, let's see what you got.
The 1994 playoffs, when it really got rolling for Marty Brodeur. His regular season work good enough to earn him the Calder Trophy in 1993-94. Peter Harold goes off for interference here. The Devils' penalty kill goes to work. And then that series against this Bruins organization that had so many fascinating twists and turns in that try. Sails over Brodeur's crossbar, and a 2-on-1 the other way. But Krug gets back quickly to make it 2-on-2, and the shot by Zubris goes wide. Remember Chris Terreri evening it up at the old Boston Garden, and then Jacques having the confidence to go right back to Brodeur as that series returned to the Meadowlands.
Yeah, and don't you think that first win, what we saw there, probably gave him the confidence to do that as well? Marchand works this back.
35 left in the period. This is played down. Well, they score. Pretty play by the Bruins. And waiting at the side of the net for Boston was Louis Eriksson to tie it up.
Well, the Devils couldn't clear. And then, wow, what a nifty three-way passing play. It's down low. There's the one that the Devils had a shot at. But then Andy Green isn't quite sure which way to go here. You're going to see Green over here starting to reappear, but he doesn't realize that Eriksson is behind him, and Brodeur just missed it with his stick as well as his glove. So, okay, the shutout's out of the way. Now, we're just going to, if we can, focus on Marty Brodeur getting the win.
So the Bruins tie it.
And I just want to say, I apologize to any Bruin fans, because tonight, you know, I know you guys love your team too, but tonight we're going to be pulling for the Devils.
Bounces off the skate of Ryder, and it's picked up here by Zidlitsky. Thrown into the boards by Gregory Campbell, and Sestito holds here. Worked across, now Marek Zidlitsky. 2 seconds remaining at the side of the net, Sestito. Oh, he just missed as time expires.
Well, a good first period in many ways. Brodeur, a couple of dandy saves. Zidlitsky with the goal. Crowd enjoying it, Steve. So 2 more periods to go. You don't want to go away, because this is going to be a great finish. We're going to be on after that. You know, we're going to have just a big celebration of Devils hockey centered around that guy, Marty Brodeur.
Just getting started on MSG. 1-1 after period one. Louis Eriksson's tying goal from Soderberg and Marchand at 19:28. Enjoy the hottest action on the ice from some of the best seats at the Rock, or even a trip for two to see the Devils on the road. Text Party Poker to 22828 to find out how to play in the Party Poker Dream Seat Series. If you can dream it, you can win it. 13 shots for the Devils to 5 for Boston, and we'll step aside here at the Rock. 1-1. The man of the hour is Mr. Glenn Resch.
Well, there have been a lot of rumors, a lot of speculation, a lot of misinformation out there, and I thought I'd put it to rest once and for all. Pete DeBoer is under contract for next year, has been under contract, and will coach next year.
And we know what he's done. He's took the club to the final round. What do you like about this guy?
Oh, well, there's no question of his knowledge of the game, and what's most impressive during a very difficult year is the way he's kept everybody together. And has from day one. We went through some tough times, and I've said it all along, all year, that I was pleased with the coaching staff and what they had done. But I just felt that for the last 48 hours and 96 hours of what is occurring, it's time to just put that in the past, and so we can go forward on some other decisions.
Well, that is rare. Lou Lamoriello speaking during the first intermission today, and that puts the issue to bed for now. Peter DeBoer will be back for a 4th season as Devils head coach. 101 wins, second most by a coach in New Jersey history. With Chico Resch, I'm Steve Cangelosi. Lou is compelled to do that in mid-game. What is the importance of that, Chico?
Well, you know, I talked to Lou just before I came up to the booth, and I said, Lou, what's going on with those rumors out of Toronto? I said, I haven't read them, and he just rolled his eyes. He said, listen, he says, any bet that you can get on whether he's going to be back or not, bet the house that he's going to be back. Little did I know, he's probably telling me he's already signed. So, but it's the right thing to do. What we talked about the shootout. Maybe the Devils next year got to practice that stupid spinorama, right? And have everybody learn to do that if they're going to allow that. But I mean, other than that, what hasn't the coaching staff done? They've mixed and matched lines. They've done a good job with the goaltenders, trying to keep that well balanced. They play good defense. Power play's been good. Penalty killing.
Played across by Eriksson, and no word of an extension. That was widely reported last night, but he is simply under contract and will continue. And we talked about this a lot on the air, the respect that he's commanded from the veteran voices in that room. Now if you're Jaromir Jagr and you're looking at next season, and you know that Pete DeBoer will be back, that has to impact your decision moving forward.
Absolutely. I mean, I think Jagr's loved everything about New Jersey except not being in the playoffs. And we'll talk about that. You know, that was a good first step, I think, for Lou. There's others that have to come later.
We'll watch the Bruins here. Opening minute of period 2. Quick shot by Marchand is fired wide. Johnny Boychuk will play this in deep, and this is controlled by Adam Larsson. Here's Marchand, knocked down, gets the puck across anyway, and Larsson gets rid of it.
That was a nice play by Adam Larsson. In traffic like that? Talking to Lou today, I said, what's impressed you about Adam Larsson? He said, in traffic, when the puck's near his feet, he's the best at stick handling and finding the right option and the right pass.
Shot by Boychuk, stick save made by Brodeur. Well, this turned out to be that season in the AHL that Adam Larsson never had. He broke in with this team at the ripe old age of 18, and he was a regular, playing all situations in a very early stage of his career. They slowed it down a bit. They put the brakes to it all, and he's come back, and he's played some fine hockey here in the last stretch of the year. This is picked up here out of midair by Elias and worked across to Jaromir Jagr. Crosses up with Zajac and plays it across. Elias worked it across and now picks the pocket of the Bruins. Take it here quickly, and Elias leaves this for Michael Ryder. Lost control and now ridden off by Boychuk. Here's Ruutu with a shot that's blocked away. Bouncing puck in front, swatted at by Ryder. It comes back here to Harold. Good surge by the Devils. And Wojciech across here to Torrey Krug. New Jersey Devils hockey today being presented to you by PartyPoker.com. Long pass to Sestito, straight to goal, and Chad Johnson has to play this. Corey Potter, former Rangers draft pick with the Bruins now, played it back, and number 6 is on the puck here for Boston, and it's worked ahead to Jordan Caron. Here's Merrill back at his own end and under pressure. We have all the bright spots of young players to come aboard this year. Number 34, if he's not at the top of the list, I know he's awfully close. Well, the love has been all around us here at Prudential Center for Glenn Resch, and this from our longtime colleague Mike Emmerich. 3 cheers to my dearest friend Glenn Resch upon his retirement after the game this afternoon. What can you say?
Well, you know, Ken, Doc and I, like I said the other day, we became such good friends. He called me just before this game, and he just gotten home. But you know, the Devils demand excellence, and I think the people on our staff in the broadcast booth do the same.
Shot by Green is saved and loose, cleared in front.
And you know, some fans said to me, you know, Kenny Danico's going to have some pretty big shoes to fill, which was a really nice compliment. I said, Kenny's going to, yeah, because I'm about a size 9 and Kenny's about a size 11. So you're going to really have trouble filling mine. But I was thinking, Ken, how about you? You had to follow Doc Emmerich, and that wasn't easy. But you've grown by leaps and bounds. And remember this, Doc Emmerich was just a young guy making some mistakes. You know, he took voice lessons. He wrote things down. He had, well, you know, his briefcase was like a suitcase on the road. He eventually got a hernia out, lugging all that stuff around, but he was so prepared.
Played across and swatted out of midair. It's the question I've often been asked over these 3 years as we see the slap shot fired wide. What was it like to follow up as a Hall of Famer left the booth? And I always thought people were asking the wrong question to me, because the toughest part of this was that you and Mike together fit each other like a glove perfectly, and that to me was the intimidating thing. Walking into that equation and trying to get the best out of you as we continued along. And it's so funny the way life works. Here we are in our 3rd season together, and we're not going to do playoff hockey this year together, but I thought by far this was our best season together, and it's one I'm never going to forget.
Well, thank you, Cans, and the same goes for me. And you and Kenny, I know, developed that same, well, whoever it is. I mean, boy, I only say Kenny because you've worked with him more than anybody else, whether he's down where he is now or whatever. But yeah, it'll work, Kenny, Steve, because you want it to work. And tonight's Cold Hard Facts are brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. And there's that good-looking face and great goaltender, Marty Brodeur. And how about this, Ken? 13 backup goalies in all those years, and they played 332 games, and that's no knock against them. Marty Brodeur, 1,241 over that same span. And I don't know about you, but if I was a backup, I'd be a backup to Marty Brodeur. That was Marty Brodeur's backup. You still must have been pretty good. I would think. I got a scholarship with UMD because I didn't play.
Travis Zajac walks in and shoots, and there's a Chad Johnson save that keeps this game tied.
But the other goalie who they were looking at to give a scholarship to, he didn't play either, but the guy ahead of me played better than the guy ahead of him, so they said, well, you must be better.
I always felt good for Scott Clemenson as we see Eliash's shot blocked away, because he endured one of those years where he got to start only 4 games out of 82. And then when he had that year when the team really needed him and they counted on him to win as many as 25 games on their way to the playoffs, it just validated his time with the organization. I know a time in his life he'll never forget with the Devils just 4 years ago. Picked up here by Zedlitsky. Punched away by Wojciech. Here's Sean Thornton who plays this across. Stanley Cup playoffs will get underway on Wednesday. Taken away here by Campbell. And work back to the point. Bouncing puck is controlled nicely at the point by Bartkowski. Turnaround shot is blocked away and taken by Ryder. This will be a difficult thing for the Devils fans, I know, Chico. Watching New York, Philadelphia in the opening round of the playoffs as it all begins. They're two
They're going to cheer for
rivals.
that one.
Yeah.
Right? Who do you pick there? You know, a lot of people are saying that the Rangers are favorite. And they may if you break it down, but boy, Philly's starting to play well again. And you know, Steve Mason looked like he got a nasty injury the other night, but he's been red hot recently.
Green couldn't control the puck. Taken away here by Caron. And that's knocked away. Back the other way come the Devils. Here's Dinah Zuber dropping it. Bruner with a shot and a save by Johnson. Oh, he's been good on the other end. Marchand will dump in. The 16th double shot on the afternoon, the 6th for Boston.
I watched some of that Ranger Montreal game last night. And then I got this today, Steve, of the free agents. And I just looking down at Brian Jonta, already a free agent, age 35. Just throwing that out there. I don't think he would be back as a Devil. As I look at the free agents, and we'll go over it later, I think Pete DeBoer, if he had his wish list, would be a centerman, you know, where he could affect both wingers and the defense, and you know how centermen actually have such far-reaching impact to other positions. So I think that'd be priority one.
Hamilton off the draw, sees this blocked away, and now watch Damian Bruner dart back. Written off the play by the Bruins and taken here and banked out of the zone. This will deflect into the scorer's table, and we'll step aside 8 minutes into the second. It's a 1-1 game at the Rock.
I was very shy, and I really insecure, and I was quiet. And I think that, again, comes from goaltending. Goaltending is a very individual, kind of a lone type position. You know, you're really depending on yourself and no one else. And when you play bad, you can't say, gee, I should have had that, but somebody else caused me to miss it. I mean, you missed it yourself.
You were shy. You had all those words bottled up for 20 years, and then you let it all out when we became your colleagues.
Now you can't shut me up, right? I heard you under your breath a few times. I wish you'd back off a little. But, wow, they are grabbing some stuff that I thought I had destroyed years ago. Where they're finding it.
It looked like the old MSG Mike flag. We only got a little taste of it at the bottom of the screen. Played in front. A shot by Zajac is saved and deflected out of play.
And how about that sweatsuit?
Yeah.
That was a pretty good looking, you know, body tight. It was the old green and red.
Little Jean-Guy Talbot motif there for you.
Yeah, I wonder if Stan Fischler was doing that. No, that question was too easy. Back in the day, I would have been squirming more if Stan had been the guy throwing the questions at me.
I was in the Devils locker room. Yes, I am old enough to have been in the Devils locker room in that first season in 1982-83. He's played back here to Zidlitsky, saved by Chad Johnson. Time for the Cadillac trivia question. More on that first season in a moment. But here's the question today. Which color analyst in 17 years with Sports Channel and MSG never missed a game?
And this is for my little buddy in Lyndhurst roller hockey. Because he was saying, the questions are too hard. Well, I hope you got that one, my friend.
Crunching numbers is something we do very often in preparation for these broadcasts. Now, many of you are aware, Doug Jarvis, the old Hartford Whaler, has the all-time record for consecutive games played in the National Hockey League. I believe that's 964. You never kept a total count of your tally of games. So all we're left to do is estimate, and we believe we've got you at roughly 1,400. What's the key to never missing a game?
Well, you know, for Dougie Jarvis, it could be a shot off the ankle, it could be a bruise, could be a tear. For me, it was indigestion. It was like being late. Oh, yeah, as you know, Kanta, everybody would bug me about being late. So those were the things that I had to overcome. And there were a few times, you know, I probably shouldn't have been on the air. Not just because of what I was saying, but my throat was sore, but I'd always show up and say, Roland, am I in tonight? And he'd say, yeah, go ahead. He said, you can't finish the game fine, but I knew if I started, I was the broadcaster record, so I would get a win out of it. But fortunately, I got through them all. One funny thing though was my glasses broke one game, and I had to use, all I could get was down in the dressing room, white tape, and half the lenses were covered with white tape, and it was Doc who wasn't feeling well, and we had a real controversial play at the end of the game in Detroit, and he's going to read the ruling from the rule book, and all I got is these taped up glasses. And let me get back to this. And so Doc starts and his voice is cracked and he can't finish and he hands it to me and he says, "Here, you read it, Chico." Oh my God, I like those Slapshot Hansen glasses with tape all over it. I put them on and I start reading it. All I can hear is Roland Dratch down in the truck, our producer, saying, "Get him off the air, get him off, take him off the camera." And that was one funny moment that I had, many others as well.
That interview that we played, the clip of you as we watched Perron, it just brought back a memory for me. I was a teenager in that locker room, and it's pretty easy to get intimidated in a professional locker room when you're still a college student. You're doing interviews with professional athletes, seasoned athletes, and I will never forget you and Mel Bridgman shortly after that just being go-to guys in that locker room, always gentlemen, always willing to share time. And that's stuff that probably doesn't resonate for the athletes themselves, but it's something we never forget on the other end.
Thanks.
Here's what we love most about Glenn Resch, the goaltender. Calm, cool, composed, no matter what the situation.
Yeah. That one there hit the crossbar. We hadn't beaten the Rangers, and I'm pointing. There's fingerprints on the crossbar, Steve. There were droplets because the puck had a little bit of snow on it. And I'm trying to explain that, and you look at that. Dave Lewis, who now coaches Carolina, and he's even thinking, you're on your own on this one. Hodge was the referee. He said, "I can't make any sense of it either." But was I right, Kanch?
You're right.
Okay. And
years later, vindicated.
And that turned the game around. It was in the Garden. We'd never beaten him in the Garden at that time, and it took a little while longer before we finally did.
I just noticed, taking a second look at that, you were still using the purple glove. You never changed it for Colorado, is that right?
No, that was the first season.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
But see, Marty Brodeur, remember what color was his first glove we saw earlier?
Red.
Blue.
Oh, blue. Oh,
blue. See?
Sorry.
He thought, hey, if that worked that well for Chico, I'm going to try that. Not really. But see it right there.
Okay.
You know, back then, you couldn't have more than one glove a season. Like now, guys can have 2 or 3 or 4. Equipment's lighter. Back then, that was a real leather glove. That was cowhide. These are synthetic, so they're lighter and they break down quicker.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch, it's Zidlitsky who takes this for the Devils. Under 9 minutes to go. The second period. Devils would like to finish with their 35th win of the year. Yager pulls this back and shoots, blocked away. And Marchand plays this across. Here's Riley Smith over the line. Return pass for Smith. Made the move. And Brodeur at the side of the net denies Smith.
Nice play by Johnny Merrill to help out there. Boy, that Riley Smith's good though, isn't he? I mean, everybody forgets. Tyler Seguin's having a great year in Dallas. He's helped get them into the flip. Good for them. But the 2 guys that the Bruins acquired in that deal are doing pretty well themselves.
Now that's Riley Smith, who usually plays with Patrice Bergeron and Brad Marchand on any other team that's a #1 line.
Yeah.
Not on the Bruins.
And Louis Eriksson, who's been hurt, he's back. I think he's going to have a big impact in the playoffs.
Poke behind the net, coming out with it, Fournier. Trying to get a shot away. That's Sean Thornton who helped take it away. At the side of the net, jamming at it in front, Carter and Bernier, but it's swept away by Thornton one more time. Larson with a big hit in the corner. Work free by Gregory Campbell. Played back to the point. Mazzaros fakes a shot, goes wide, and that's blocked away by Brodeur. Marty's had a light workload today. That's only his 8th save of the afternoon. Made some sparkling stops, though, in that stretch. Perron twisted up along the near board. Work back to the point, and it hops over the stick of Dougie Hamilton. The wunderkid defenseman for Boston, now at the age of 20 after breaking in a year ago. Here's Mark Payne back in his own end. Peter Harold lifting this away. Oh, Berner tried to get on it, but taken away by Krug and dumped in.
Dougie Hamilton, the same draft as Adam Larsson. And obviously he's had the jump in the start of his career. But I talked to Lou Lamoriello, and he says as soon as Adam Larsson gets his confidence, which we know about being a big factor with every defenseman, he is going to make the jump. So be patient with Adam Larsson, Devils fans, because he's got all the right stuff, and it's just a matter of getting that game experience and confidence in place.
These are the Chase So You Can Eastern Conference standings. We've seen this several times this week. Is there a team capable of derailing Boston in the Eastern Conference, Jake?
No, not unless Boston would have a catastrophic injury or two. Because remember, what's impressive though, remember, they went to the finals last year, they lost. And you know how many teams come back with a hangover? They have not. And you know, opponents, coaches say they're still the toughest team in the East, maybe in the league in terms of skill, but also that smack you need to set up that skill, especially in the playoffs. So Bruins are one of the contenders for sure.
Steve, Chico, we know now Coach DeBoer is definitely coming back for another season. And from my perspective, this team plays so sound defensively, competes every night, and that tells me that the players listen to the coach. They buy into what he is trying to teach them. Yes, they did not get the results they wanted as far as making the playoffs. They're going to have to get better offensively next year, and that's up to management to find the right ingredient. But to a man, every player says they love to play for Coach DeBoer. They enjoy his system. And for me, if the players believe in him, then good for Coach DeBoer, and it's good that he's back with the New Jersey Devils.
How about Jaromir Jagr yesterday, Kenny, as his shot is saved by Chad Johnson? He said, well, if he's not back, there are 10 teams that would reach out and try to get him. That's probably the best endorsement any of us can have in any walk.
Well, especially when you consider that he has said at times, I'd like to keep the lines together or this and that. I mean, if he's saying it, this is what I'm saying. I'm not saying it. Kenny's not saying it. We're talking about a guy who's had a tremendous year. And I got to tell you, Jagr, for some coaches, have been hard to coach. And I could tell you that for sure when he was younger. But if he's endorsing Pete DeBoer, because Jarmer's very honest, that's enough for me.
Worked across to Travis Zajac. Jagr's on here with Zajac and Elias. Kicked that by Travis and sent back into the corner. It's been a wonderful afternoon before a full house here at Prudential Center. Devils want to make this count, though. This is their last statement. They're looking for a win to finish up, and they've got a 2-on-1 here. Played across. Ryder gets a backhand off and a save by Johnson.
Well, the net's off. There's going to be a whistle here as soon as the Devils touch the puck. But the referee is saying either, oh, he put it back on, goalie. We'll keep going, or I'll blow it dead. Back in place.
There you go. Johnson took care of business himself. Cut the man an extra check today as it's played back for Martin Brodeur.
I want to say, Steve, the ice here at the Prudential Center is some of the best in the National Hockey League. And I want to commend all the guys who work so hard day after day to get this ice in good shape. Of course, the challenge even for them is the spring and the playoffs, but that won't happen this year. And there the boys are. And those are the game day guys who also scrape it well. But the demand for excellence with the New Jersey Devils doesn't stop anywhere, and that's including the ice.
Tougher in these parts than certain sections of Western Canada, I imagine, to have that perfect sheet every night. The Bears doing a great job here as it's taken away by Bernier. This is a busy arena with many events during the course of the year, and a wonderful venue for Devils hockey first, but a lot of other things as well. Under 4 minutes to go, second period. Steve Bernier trying to get on the puck, but skated away here by Smith. Twisting away from Ryan Carter. And Krug with a move. That's well defended by Mark Fane. That's a guy the Devils, I would imagine, want back. Quality playing time for Mark Fane this year. He's an unrestricted free agent at season's end. Just one of the things on the post-game show we're going to talk about today as we look to the future. Taken here, Tynas Zubris gets the legs moving to center for New Jersey.
Just watching Adam Larson skate, Cans, he's got a nice stride. He's going to be just fine. Yeah, he's going to be good.
Scott Niedermayer stands out. In the 18 years we've done this, the best skaters that you've seen on the New Jersey Devils. I mean, is Niedermayer front and center ahead of everyone else?
You mean in the league?
In the Devils uniform.
Well, yeah, certainly in the Devils uniform. Kenny Danica close second. No, just kidding. But I'm talking in the league. We're talking Paul Coffey and Bobby Orr, Scott Niedermayer. They're in a class all themselves. And then Scotty Stevens in the class as a strong skater. I mean, you know, he had that low center of gravity. You couldn't move him. And he was powerful in his strides. And you know, it was a game stand, Cans, where everybody hung back. I'd like to have seen a Scott play now where defensemen jump up in the play more.
You want to see that rewarded, don't you? Prettiest element of the game is it's gloved down here by Zidlitsky and played by John Merrill. They pick up Zajac at center. He's got Cunningham all over and plays it to Yager on a save by Johnson. Zidlitsky into the corner. Oh, the pass intercepted and skated away. The breakout here by Florek, and a save is made by Brodeur.
Well, what's that? 9 saves for Brodeur. Every time he stopped the puck, there's been a nice roar from the crowd.
Yager, beautiful move, puts it on a backhand, holds, forehand from the circle, and that pass is intercepted. And Yager, frustratingly, heads for the bench, shaking his head. In front, intercepted there by Peter Harrell. It winds around to the stick of Michael Ryder. Minute 20 to go in this period. Behind the net, Kevin Miller throws it in front, waiting for it with Soderberg, who banks it away.
Well, Jaromir Jagr was pretty upset that he couldn't make that pass. We're going to show you a clip that's going to make a couple other guys pretty upset. Number 68, Jaromir Jagr stretches Marty Brodeur out to save, but on his knees, Jagr gives it back to Lemieux. This is brilliant passing, but watch the reaction from Mr. number 66, Lemieux. He cannot believe it. And some people that say that that's their favorite all-time combination saves by Marty Brodeur. I don't know, that was the late 90s. Could have even been the playoffs, I'm not sure.
99, according to Larry Gaines. Shot by Ryder is blocked away. Now, you and I know Larry looks at more videotape than probably any of us, and I know he was part of that group that said that might have been the best sequence for Marty Brodeur. Look at the players he stopped.
Oh, yeah, but what a play by Jagr, too, on his knees, passing that back to Lemieux.
Redirected in front. And battle for behind the Devils' net. Marty Brodeur said long before Jagr became a teammate, the best player he had ever faced in terms of offensive skill and shooter. He has been saying that for years, and then in what might be his last year in a Devils uniform, he calls the man teammate.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that saying he was better than Lemieux. Here's what I would like to see. I think Jagr's skills, his hand skills, better than they were. We'll get back to that.
Carter on a 2-on-1, shoots, glove save, Johnson.
So I think the fine motor skills of Jagr are as good as they've ever been. He just lacks the speed. And don't get me wrong, I think Jagr was a great player, but if you went to him and said, you were better than Mario Lemieux, it just... But Marty, I understand Marty. Marty, the one thing is with Jagr probably had a heavier shot. You know, so there were some aspects of his game that maybe were at a higher level than Lemieux.
The careers coincided more, too. They were in that same draft. Oh, and right at the end, the puck comes up and strikes one of the linesmen.
Well, I think think it was Dvorsky. Oh, what a way to get sent to the locker room. Well, at least he'll be able to get some ice. Just talk to those guys, Greg Dvorsky. They're all kind of wondering, are they going to be working next Wednesday and Thursday? Monday is the assignment day for these the referees and linesmen on who will proceed into the playoffs and get some assignments. So it's a big weekend for them as well.
40 minutes in the books. It's 1-1, the Devils and Bruins. And we remind you that full season plans are the best way to guarantee your chance to see Jersey's team at the Rock in 2014-15. We can't wait. Become a full season ticket holder now to gain access, exclusive team events, preferred pricing, and the best seat locations in the house. Secure your seats by calling 1-800-NJ-DEVIL or visit NewJerseyDevils.com. Let's go downstairs. Deb is with Travis Zajac.
All right, thanks, Steve. Travis was a part of the goal that gave Marty Brodeur the lead back in the first period, and so that's where we'll start, is with Marty. Pete DeBoer said this morning that everyone in the room knows the significance of this game for Marty Brodeur, even if you can't predict the future. So what's the significance of it for you?
You know, he's done so much, you know, for this organization, you know, for this team. You know, it would be an honor to win him this game. Obviously, you know, I've learned a lot from him throughout my career. Watching him compete at the NHL for 8 years now, I feel like it's a privilege.
As long as you've been here, Chico Resch has also been here. What a wonderful moment, the stick tap by all the players when it was announced as a thank you over the big screen. What do you think are some of the things you might miss about Chico?
You know, just how positive he was. You know, no matter you know what this team was going through, you know, you were happy to see his face, and you know, he always had something good to say, positive to say about our game, about us a person, and you know, one of the nicest guys to you know, to ever be around, and you know, a great ambassador for this organization.
All right, thanks so much, Travis. Looking forward to the last third period of the regular season.
Thanks for having me.
All right, that's Travis Zajac. It's the Mazda Intermission Report, our last one of the year. We'll always have stats and highlights of the second period for Mazda, but Stan Fischler will also join us today one final time. Plus Ken Danico. It all gets started right after this.
Welcome back. Third period is set to begin at Prudential Center. Marty Brodeur has stopped 8 of 9 Boston shots today. Chad Johnson, 23 of 24 on the other end for the playoff-bound Bruins. And the third period, final full period of hockey this season at the Rock, is underway. Eric Zidlitsky with a wonderful goal for the Devils to get this started today before Boston tied it. Zidlitsky throws one towards the corner, and it's picked up here by Louis Eriksson. New Jersey Devils hockey presented to you by PartyPoker.com. You have to go out with a win today.
You do. But is it going to be in a shootout? It's unbelievable that we're looking at that once again.
I'd say it's poetic, but I've used that line already. It's taken here by Moskowski. 17 in a row going back to last year as the shootout losing streak. But let's see if we get there as Smith dumps in first. Peter Harold makes the defensive play in his own end, and it's picked up here by Patrick Elias. By the way, happy birthday to Patrick. He's 38 today.
Yeah, you mentioned his fan club is here from the Czech.
Custom-made T-shirts they're wearing here. I'll explain in a bit, but we see Poklachev stop. This is batted down by Harold. Lindblad crosses up here with Gregory Campbell, and the puck taken by Thornton, who backhanded one wide. Marty Brodeur has not won as much, has not played as much as Corey Schneider, going out on a strong note so far here today. His best saves in this, his final game of the season at least, and possibly final game in a Devils uniform, came back in the first period. Punched ahead, and it's Lindblad. Skates this away for Boston. Sealed off by Adam Larson at center ice. Big news emerging here away from the ice today. Lou Lamoriello announcing Pete DeBoer will return as head coach next year. Shot by Sislo. Oh, that was saved by Johnson. Mike Sislo nearly had his first. Like what they see out of the latest man to wear number 9 as this deflects out of play. Tonight's upcoming schedule is brought to you by Lexus, and since there are no more games on the slate, we thought we'd leave you with this. The 2014 NHL Draft will be June 27th and 28th in Philadelphia. Remember, the Devils got their #1 pick back. That'll be 30th overall. Free agency starts July 1st. Hold on to your hat.
And it's also the first day that the Devils could re-sign Cory Schneider if they're able to. Even though he's not obviously an unrestricted free agent.
Just want that business taken care of before the process goes any further. Face-off is to the left. There is the man. This is tough for him. He says he hasn't had this time of year without playoff hockey since his second year of high school in Andover, Massachusetts. He'll get his shot soon enough, we're sure.
Well, what's Corey, 29? You know, and I remember my career, Steve. You can go strong. 33 starts to maybe take a little bit more of its toll. Oh, but not that you're done. I'm just saying you maybe have passed a little bit out of your prime when you hit 33, 34. And so he's got some terrific years ahead of him.
Circumstances of Corey's career have found him a teammate of just a wonderful talent in Roberto Luongo for 5 years in Vancouver. And then his next stop, the winningest goalie of all time, shares the locker with him.
Well, Corey could get called and asked to play for the U.S. team in the World Championships. I'm sure he would agree to that.
Andy Green's another man who hasn't worn the U.S. sweater yet. He was denied a place on the U.S. Olympic team for the games in Sochi, but speaking with Andy 2 days ago, he said certainly that's something he'd be interested. One of the best American-born defensemen certainly right now is number 6 in red, who shovels the puck ahead here. And fired in. Martin Brodeur behind his net. Given away here, Soderberg, and now trying to pull the trigger on that shot was Cunningham. We'll check that Florek. And it was blocked away. Justin Florek can't control, and taken away here by Jaromir Jagr. Plays it across. Here's Travis Zajac. Feeds Ryder. Punched back. Merrill gives it here to Jagr. Centering try. They score! What a play! Jagr sets up Travis Zajac for the go-ahead goal.
Well, besides wanting to sign Jaromir Jagr just for what he is, I think the Devils will be anxious to bring Jagr back because he has been such a inspiration and a compliment to number 19, Travis Zajac. And, you know, they were good pretty much all year, Steve, but the last third of the season, they started to find that connection. And Jagr a little bit upset with some of his passes. Watch how quickly he passes this. He makes sure he doesn't get behind the goal line, and that's off his stick as soon as he spots the blade of Jagr and puts it right where, Zajac.
Marchand gives this up.
Whoa.
Big save, Brodeur on Kovalchuk.
Yeah, that's what we're waiting for. And I got to tell you, I wish you all could be here. It just warms your heart. And I want to let you listen. Signature save, legs apart. Doesn't really go down, Steve. Just reaches up and rights himself.
20th overall pick in the 1990 draft. Lou Lamoriello has often talked of the irony of trading down in that draft. And what was waiting for him at 20 is Jagr's shot is fired wide. The winningest goaltender of all time. He's seeking .688 in a Devils uniform today. 2-point day for Travis Zajac, that plays it across, and Jagr tries to funnel one in deep for Ryder, but it's broken up and taken away by Boston. John Merrill gets the secondary assist on the goal by Travis Zajac, his 18th of the year at .352. Here's Thornton at center ice, interrupted by Ryder, and punches it in deep. Many of the Bruins regulars, including Chara, Bergeron, Krejci, watching from back home in Boston, surely, getting set for the Stanley Cup playoffs later this week against Detroit. There's not much on the line on this final Sunday of the National Hockey League season. As this is played back, Zoubras controls, played across, and Elias in front. Couldn't get a stick on it. Picked up here by Bruner for New Jersey. Adam Larson for Zidlicky, who's in the corner. Sorry, try, and Zubrus fired it off the side of the net. Taken behind goal, and Elias controls here. Swarmed here by the Devils as Bruner takes and punches it back towards Zidlicky. Elias follows this. Bruner knocked down. Penalty coming up. To the bench goes Brodeur. On the puck is Bruner. And now the stoppage in play. Here's the game recap brought to you by our Tri-Honda dealers. Marek Zidlicky, first goal in 18. Louis Eriksson tied it before Zajac gave his team the lead here in the third.
It's time for the PSC.
Gregory Campbell going to be ticketed for the sin bin. As you see, he knocks down Damien Bruner. And so, I know the fans here, and certainly I think even Marty Brodeur would love to have a one more goal cushion. 3-1 would be nice cruising into the final minutes of this game. Because as you say, Steve, this afternoon's going to have a little tarnish to it if Martin Brodeur doesn't get his 19th shutout of the year.
He has said often it's just all about
excuse me, not shutout.
But victory.
Yes.
Yager takes this and works back towards the point. Bruner plays it across. Zidlicky fires, scores!
There you go. Marek Zidlicky just pounding the puck into the back of the net. That's his 12th of the season. And again, fans on their feet. Steve, they don't care if half the Bruins are from Providence. And a night like today, all they do is see the big B on the jersey, and they just want to win it. And they have a nice lead now, and Marek reaching out to someone. Maybe his wife and family are here. But boy, that is a rocket. And he's also saluting maybe those Czech fans who have traveled from the Czech Republic.
Did you know that Devils Power Play was brought to you by PartyPolka.com? And if you dreamt it, you could have won it. 3-1 Devils. 6.5 into the third. As Adam Larson goes back to give chase. Turnaround shot, blocked away in front, taken away by Ruutu. Big finish from Marek Zidlicky, his second goal this afternoon. Brodeur stop on the sharp angle try. Punched back in deep by Soderberg for Boston.
And number 68, Jaromir Jagr.
2-assist day for Jaromir Jagr. 67 points and counting for the Devils' leading scorer. A Sislo shot is fired high and wide. Carroll's all the way out to center. Peter Carroll marching in. The poke checked away by Krug. There's Gianta's try that's fired wide. Full house, as we told you, on the season finale at Prudential Center. 12.5 away from finishing on a winning note as Merrill darts out of his own end. And this deflects out of play. 12:21 left. We'll step aside. 3-1 the Devils leading the Bruins.
Chico Resch, I have to tell you that you're one of my best friends in hockey. You were the guy who patched up my feud with Billy Smith, and I'm going to nominate you for the Lester Patrick Trophy for service to hockey in the United States and in the Hall of Fame as a builder, because you've done more for hockey to build the sport up, and you've done it with humor. You've done it with insights. You've done it with friendliness. And you're the only guy in the world who can criticize a referee, and when you're done, they don't even know they've been criticized. That is an art form. And I must tell you, there have been a lot of guys I've known. I've been watching hockey since before you were born. There has never been a broadcaster or a player who's combined the talents of goodness, of artistry, of friendliness. You are the kind of guy who helps hockey grow. And for that, I say you deserve these awards. You deserve the Lester Patrick, just like Mike Emmerich got it. And I say when it comes to building the sport, which is so important to the United States and Canada. You've done all those things. We love you, Chico. We wish you well. And you know how I feel about you. I love you. Bye.
I love you too, Stan. I'm gonna miss you guys. Stan, you know, I don't think people in New York realize what a treasure in the hockey world they have with Stan, watching it in the 40s, and all he's done, as you know, Kanj, and comes to our meetings. Just an awesome guy. We wish him and Shirley, who's in a tough battle with cancer, we wish them the best. Stan, you know, one time had this gruff outer surface, and he would ask tough questions. And,
no.
You know, yeah, no. But, you know, he always wanted to try and bring a new feel or look to an interview. And with that, though, you know, there were some tough moments. There's some players that chased him down the hallway. There were players that weren't sure what he was getting at. But through it all, there's nobody that loves hockey more than Stan. And the only thing he'd criticize me on, as you know, the dreaded Connemara. Where would jinx the Devils by saying something, and then the opposite would happen. And the other thing he hated was that 3-goal lead. Remember the dreaded 3-goal lead?
Oh, it's still in play. I thought that went tremendously well with Stan Fischler right after one of the most frightening sentences we can hear in this business, and it came from Roland Dratch with a broken pane of glass. Stan, there's a piece of glass broken, you have a little extra time. But that went remarkably well with the Maple.
And another thing about Stan, this isn't going to surprise anyone either. He's writing another book. Really? Another book on the horizon. He gave me the layout. You're going to want to pick up a copy of that. It's like nothing he's ever done before. But that's everything he does is something he's never done before.
We'll be trying to sell me a copy before this is done today, as it's worked back to the point. Played here by Boychuk. Bounces in front of the net. And secured here by Damian Brunner. 11 and a half to go. It's taken away by Lindblad for the Bruins. And work back to Andy Green.
You know, I think every area, at least the real hockey areas, Steve thinks that they've got the best broadcast and they do it better than anybody else. But I know I sound like I'm just plugging MSG, and I know maybe some fans think the Rangers get more attention than the Islanders and the Devils, but I got to tell you, the commitment that MSG makes in covering hockey, Saturday Night Live, all the people there that just want to make hockey something real special that it is already, they're going the extra mile, and so is Yager.
Oh, he lost control. Oh, and it could have capped a wonderful afternoon for Yager, who's working with 2 assists already. Take great pride in what we do. Simply put, no outfit in the NHL anywhere in North America does more hockey than we do at MSG. That is something we wear proudly as a badge of honor, and you've been such a big part of that for 18 years, and it's frightening moving along without you in some respects, but again, as we started today, I said change is the one constant. We're going to do our best because we know you're going to be watching back in Minnesota with Diane, and we know that we're going to have to answer to you, that you're only a cell phone call away.
Oh, and I'll be back. And you talk about things coming to the end. I looked at Yager and I thought, well, it's not really coming to the end for him if he wants to play at least 50, but I think of Marty Brodeur, and with 10 minutes to go, that I never thought I'd see this day.
Caron walks in and shoots, save Brodeur, and he picks out the rebound in midair. What a terrific stop. Coming up, the Foxwoods Final Five. Visit foxwoods.com for upcoming events.
You know, there's been great quarterbacks and pitchers. You think of Derek Jeter. You know, Jeter's making his farewell tour. Marty Brodeur elected not to do that. He wanted to keep that door open. So could he play next year? You know, see that he wins today. Here's this Connemara. That'll be all over me. But he'd only be 12 wins away from 700. I mean, can you imagine? I can't, and I was a goalie. So, you know, will he play next year? Maybe, but with the Devils, this may be his swan song, and for all of us, we never wanted to or thought that day was going to come, but it has.
Hasn't really had any number in mind. Once he got to 552, it was the night he passed Patrick Waugh. Great victory here against the Chicago Blackhawks back in 2009. The record is already out of reach, I think most people would say. To see somebody, even in the age of the shootout, as we watch Harold with a nice play and a shot by Ruutu that stops and the rebound goes wide. I'm not sure he has to pad this any more than he's already done.
Oh, no, he definitely doesn't have to. But we like round numbers. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, that's why something that's $20 is $19.95. It sounds better. Well, $700 sounds better than $699. And that's not the only reason Marty's going to come back and play, but I would hope if he does, he reaches that.
Sixlow at the doorstep, trying to find the handle. He's come close a couple of times today. Bartkowski will work this ahead with 8:40 to go. Right back on the offensive comes Ruutu. He shoots, and it's blocked away by Boychuk.
Sorry, I'm just laughing at something that's happening on the ice.
Redirection, and Brook Brodeur had to make another big stop, and he was able to do it on Florek. Now, chance here by Krug, and that's fired wide. Here's Miller punching it back in deep. Devils did not finish this season poorly. Points in 9 of their previous 10 games coming into today, but the inclusion of 5 shootout losses in that span alone, and some 13 defeats in shootouts this season. Too much for this team to overcome in terms of going to the playoffs, but trying to create one fine, lasting memory this afternoon. And Zidlitsky's been a big part of that. Works it ahead to Zubris. Giannis sealed off by Dougie Hamilton. Zidlitsky's never had a hat trick, by the way. Career high is 14 goals with Minnesota. Zajac plays this. Pass for Jágr. Gobbled up here by Soderberg, who's off to the races. Adam Larsson with a big play to break it up.
What a gorgeous little touch by Adam Larsson at the end of that dive.
Now Zajac moves in. Taken here by Jágr. Shot by Zajac, saved by Chad Johnson. We've got 7:07 left in the season finale and a 3-1 Devils lead.
Lou Lamoriello told me before the game what he's liking about Adam Larsson is his ability to recover from one bad play to the next, which he did a couple games ago when he gave one away, or within the same play. Now there, if he continued and swung his stick hard, he's knocking down Soderberg. He's going off for a penalty. But it was really cool because Adam laid himself out, and then he knew he had to just touch that puck. And that's great awareness and skill and eye-hand coordination. And, you know, I got to know Adam pretty well. Of course, you know, he was skating a lot extra. And he cares. Oh, here comes a penalty to the Bruins again. But he cares, and he's very determined to make it, Steve. You know, he is not taking these assignments to the minor leagues lightly, but he's taken them with the learning curve experience that he's going to gain from it. And there he's having some fun. And, you know, it's been tough. The Devils have had an experienced defense. I think of Bryce Salvador, it's too bad that he got hurt. He's not in Anton Volchenkov. And it's part of the reason why maybe Adam didn't play as much. But I think that's going to, we're going to talk about decisions for Lou Lamoriello. That's going to be another decision. How many young defensemen is he going to play next year up with the big team? I think there could be 4.
Started with an injury to Adam Larsson that knocked him out of the lineup in San Jose. And then the long stint in the AHL as this shot by Zajac's blocked away. This Devils Power Play brought to you by PartyPoker.com. If you can dream it, you can win it on Party Poker. Elias in traffic, battles for the loose puck, and it's picked up here by Brunner. Zidlitsky tied up by Campbell, and Brunner takes this. Good puck possession by the Devils with 1:18 to go on the power play as Elias holds. Zidlitsky back for Elias, fakes the shot. He wanted Brunner at the side of the net. Kevin Miller broke it up and clears it away. Dougie Hamilton in the box for hooking. Devils power play 1-for-1 coming into this chance today. And Zidlitsky drops this back for Jágr, wrapping up a great first year as a New Jersey Devil. Merrill has this and dishes off, but that's given away to Bartkowski, and it's a 2-on-1 short-handed. He's got Lindblad with him. Bartkowski shoots, and the blocker save, Brodeur.
That's what the fans want to see.
"14 stops for Marty. Zobrist back the other way. Ryder shovels it back. Too hot to handle for Breen. And another shorthanded chance. Brad Marchand able to take this for Boston, but it's swept away. Not much on this Devils power play, but they lead 3-1, and Ryder carries it across. Here's Zobrist looking to set up. Plays it back for Larson. Harrell punches it off the backboard, out of the box as Hamilton the Bruins with the kill. And now the Devils are going to try to kill off these final 5 minutes and get Brodeur a win in this finale.